All right, good morning. Time for your Coach's Corner program here on this Saturday morning. We want to welcome in head coach Randy Burwick of the Hettinger Scranton Nighthawks. And, Coach, heading into another year, another exciting year. We're a month away, less than a month away from the state tournament. You're looking at already East-West this weekend, and then you get right into the region duels, individual duels, state tournament. And we always say at the beginning of the year, it's like, hey, we're back. And then all of a sudden we're wrapping things up almost. So
Yep.
You guys have some exciting wrestling to talk about here. You've had some injuries here and there, just like every year. And Nighthawk wrestling is still going strong. You're still putting kids out on the mat and getting some success out of quite a few.
Well, at this point right now, it's all about just who's healthy and who's ready to go. And we're asking a lot of young kids to step up and fill a lineup and, do the best we can. I will say this, that the improvement that the coaches and I have seen in the last month has been awesome. Every kid has improved. They have good, strong work ethic. They're obviously young, so there's a lot of, we're still going through some learning curves and stuff like that. But really how they've progressed throughout the season is really, really, really nice to see. These kids are, they're just getting better and better every single day. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the future. Obviously right now we have some injuries that are really going to hurt us maybe toward the end of the season here now, and we just got to have the next man mentality and do the best we can.
This seems like one of the first years in my remembrance that usually it's you have a couple good kids here, a couple in the middle, a couple towards the end. This year you've kind of hit a weight class, in that upper weight class. You've got some younger kids that are up in the upper weight class, but as far as varsity wise, you give up a lot of points toward the top of the.
Well, I mean that's obviously we talk about heavyweight. We haven't had I've told people before, we haven't had really the last true heavyweight we had was in 2014 when we had Brandon Ehlers. That was the last true heavyweight we've had. We've had other kids that have filled into that position. They were 220 pounders or maybe even 189 pounders having to step up and wrestle heavyweight. So being without a heavyweight, it really kind of isn't a new deal. We do have an open weight class at 215, so we do go into a duel now with 13 weight classes. We basically fill 11 out of the 13, which I feel we've wrestled very, very well. We're 4-3 in duels, which with the young kids that we have and just attacking what we're doing, it's just that's the way it is. We talk about we're not going to worry about what we don't have. We worry about what we do have. And, we compete hard. That's the main thing that we're really trying to teach these young kids is that, what you need to worry about is your output. Mm-hmm. We're not going to worry about outcomes. The outcomes, are what they are. But we can really control our output. We control how we hand fight on our feet. We can control how we get tough on the bottom and maybe get out and not give up near fall and just fight for every point. And we've been seeing that out of these young kids. We've been seeing all of that, and that's all going to pay off for them for sure.
Let's get right into we got two tournaments to talk about. And then we'll talk about the one duel, and then we'll talk about that the East-West this weekend, region duel, where we're sitting at there, because kind of the seeds are set for that, right?
I'm not exactly sure. I think they are, but, there could be some – I think there's some ties in there. There's going to be some so I think we're either going to be the 3 seed or the 4 seed in the regional duels, so I'm not sure exactly where we fit in there.
Okay. All right, Miles City, we'll start off there. You took the trip over there and had some good wrestling over there. Took a pretty good bunch of kids over?
Yeah. We wrestled really well. It's always nice to get back and wrestle, some super tough competition over there in Miles City. The Cowboy is just a real prestigious tournament. We did run into some situation where, there was a couple teams that weren't able to come. some Montana schools that weren't able to come because of the weather. I know Dickinson High was supposed to be there. They weren't able to come because of the weather. Just one of those weekends that typically the weather kind of gets us. But, the kids went in. We competed extremely well down there. Nick Dobitz ended up making the finals there at the Miles City at the Cowboy. We did have Jennifer Verdon was the champion also in the girls division. Akelia Olsen finished third in the girls division. Wrestled really, really well. Had big brackets for those two. And they wrestled really, really well. I was super happy with them. As a matter of fact, with those two girls, I think they finished 8th place as a team out of 32 schools, 32 teams. Wow. So with just 2 of them.
Yeah.
And which is crazy, But hats off to those 2 girls. They've been wrestling really, really well. Ellie obviously is out right now with a shoulder injury. Hopefully we can try and get her back maybe this weekend for the Central Cass tournament. We'll see how that goes. And then move on from there. But in the boys division, Nick ended up second place, wrestled the number 1 kid from Montana in the finals. We ended up losing that match, but he wrestled a really, really, really good tournament. And then Alberto Verdon was also in there in the varsity side, and Alberto finished 4th place in the varsity side, so really good showing out of those guys. Riley wrestled really well. Riley made the finals. Wrestled really tough. Did a good job for us. Kyler did a heck of a job for us. He didn't place, but he did a heck of a job for us there. Unfortunately we didn't enter a lot of kids into the varsity division because they do run a JV division. So we had a lot of those guys wrestling in the JV division. Had Stone Stodheim. We moved Stone and put him in the varsity division. He wrestled really well. He went 3-2 in the tournament as a young 8th grader. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. He did a heck of a job. And then obviously we had Jaron and Tanner in there. Tanner wrestled a really nice tournament, had a couple wins. I think he went 2-2 in that tournament. He's really turned around. He's really starting to show some real good tough grit, and he's starting to wrestle a little more relaxed, and he's having a lot more success here as of late. Unfortunately for Jaron, we won our first 2 matches, got into the quarterfinals. Kind of a weird situation. Kid shot a double leg on us, kind of got our knee bent underneath us, and so we ended up injury defaulting out of the tournament with a knee injury. The extent of his knee injury is pretty serious, so we're just kind of at this point right now. We don't know exactly where we're at. It's unfortunate for Jaron because he is a senior and he's put a ton of miles in this thing, and he's worked his tail off, and you can't say enough about what he's done for our program and how he's competed for our program, and really carried himself and done a really good job. It's super unfortunate for him, but I'm thinking right now that his career is probably over at this point, which really kind of leaves a lump in your throat, as far as that goes, especially when they're seniors, and then in the JV division, we had a lot of those little guys, in the JV division, Austin Ormiston, Trevor Daly, those guys wrestled really well for us. Brody Sott wrestled really well, got some valuable experience, wrestling some good competition and winning some matches there, and just getting some confidence, knowing that going forward, they're 8th graders and they got to step up into the lineup and they've got to do their job. So, overall, really good weekend down there. Obviously, it was a little chilly, and but the kids competed very well, and that's where I've seen. Really, after that, we competed well at the Hettinger Classic, and then we even competed better at Miles City. And so I've seen a lot of growth out of all of the kids. And, that continued on, and we'll go right into the next tournament, which is Moorcroft. It really continued there where they're really competing at a way higher level than they were at the beginning of the season. So, that's where you can see the improvement. That's where you can see that, the confidence. Some kids are winning matches now that they weren't winning early season. And, so we went to Moorcroft after we went to Miles City. In the girls division, we had 2 girls entered into that tournament, and that was Jennifer and Akelia, and they both brought home a belt buckle. They give out real nice belt buckles for the championship, and Akelia was the champion, and so was Jen, and so they received some nice belt buckles. We did have, overall, we had 5 into the finals. Nick made the finals at 107. Riley made the finals at 114, and Kyler made the finals at 133. Kyler lost a tough 1-0 decision in the championship to the number 1 kid out of Montana. Really good, hard-fought battle. He did a really nice job there. Austin Ormiston finished 7th in that tournament. So, there was a lot of really good things that we saw and that we took from that. The JV division, we had Cyrus, we had Tyler Fitch wrestled in the JV division, Isaiah Cood wrestled in the JV division, and Brody Sott wrestled in the JV division. Brody ended up 4th, and the other 3 all ended up 5th in the JV division. Nice little tournament that they ran that way. So they had some valuable experience also. Talking about a little guy, first-year kid, Isaiah Cood, who really has taken to the sport very, very well. And, you just see the great improvement out of him and those types of things. And, so we had a really nice showing down there. I think we finished 8th place as a team in the varsity division, and I think the girls finished 8th place in the girls division or 6th place in the girls division. I can't remember exactly which one it was. But, so really good wrestling at that point also. The kids really showed up, and, it makes for a long weekend. It was a long first day. We wrestled a lot of hours and got a lot of matches in. And, Tanner ended up 8th place. Kind of, the last match of the tournament, he kind of had bunged up his ribs a little bit. And so it was kind of, Trevor wrestled well. Stone wrestled well. So we did have a lot of positive things come out of that tournament. Heading into this final stretch, that's what we talk about. We've trained all season long for these last 3 weeks, and we're there.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. I mean, I see this as coaching basketball. It's like you always hate the season. You hate to see it get away from you, and then all of a sudden you're watching games going, they're starting to get it.
Yeah.
You see that in your wrestlers. You're getting in the regionals, like they make a move that you've been trying to get into their head for 8 weeks, and all of a sudden he's got it.
Yeah.
He just, So it's kind of cool when you get these kids. You always wish they could get it right away, day number 1, but that's why there's practices. That's why you guys do what you do. When you got to coach the kids, if they listen, they're going to catch on, and come regional time, that's where these kids get into that state tournament and start winning some matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's the importance of practice. That's why we preach, every practice matters.
Yeah.
There's got to be a goal set every day when you step into the practice room. You have to have, you've got to be 1% better when it's done.
Yep.
And if you concentrate on that and do that every single day, that's really becomes the importance of practice. And these kids have really bought into it. And, like I said, we're such a young group, but these kids are going to be really, really good. I know that, as long as they keep that mentality of, 1% better every day, practice with a purpose, and be better when I'm done. And they've done that. And we can see that throughout the whole program. whether it's the boys or the girls. They're really emphasizing that purpose every day.
Dave Erickson got the Tuesday night duel on the radio, and everybody I talked to going into it, talked to you a little bit, hey, we got these matches, these matches are going to be key.
Yeah.
And it sounded like it was one of those duels, kind of went back and forth. And
yeah. I was visiting with Coach Boynton, and he knows, we both look at the lineup, and you both look at it and you go, okay, these are the toss-up matches. These are the matches that really, one way or another are going to swing that dual meet. And, we had to win some matches. We had to move some kids around, and we had to ask. I think I went through it, and I think we had 6 8th graders in our varsity for that dual meet.
Yep.
And every one of those kids stepped up, unbelievable. We're asking Cyrus Roseland to go out against the number 3 or 4 ranked kid in the state, and he wrestled his tail off. Yeah. He really did. He was just overpowered. I mean, that's not, there's nothing that we can do about that. But he wrestled him tough. He wrestled hard. He was underweight. That's another thing that we have to talk about as far as in our duels. We have to say, hey, guys, when your name is called, you have to compete. Mm-hmm. You look at Burke Vanderpool at 114, a little 8th grader, and he's wrestling a very, very, very good kid. And, they kind of have a history. They've wrestled before, and we really haven't gotten the wins over him. And we just kept doing the things that we practice on and really just keeping the pressure on the kid. And eventually in the 3rd period, we got the fall, which was one of those toss-up matches that we needed. We're asking Trevor Daly to move up and wrestle 160 when he's a really 145-pounder, and then he wins a big match for us. Tanner Blackwell, big match. We asked him to move to 170, and he's been between 52 and 60 all year long. And he comes from behind and wins a big match there. Brody Sott, wrestling a senior, just kind of wore the kid down. Actually, just wore the kid down to nothing, and got a fall there, which are, those are things that you look at in a dual meet, and those are the intangibles. Your conditioning, we always talk about, we want to be in the best shape of any team out there, and we really used that to our advantage this week. In that dual meet, that regional dual meet, and we won some big matches simply because we just really were able to keep the foot on the gas longer and cause some breaks to go our way, and it was a good outcome. We win the dual meet, which really helps us in the dual seeding. Obviously Kilder's had some tough luck here. New Salem's had some tough luck also. We're losing kids. The kids are getting hurt, and that happens in all sports. And so I'm we just got to go into the regional dual tournament and wrestle free, wrestle tough, hustle to every position, and good things are going to happen for us.
Regional duel is in Beulah?
Yep. Regional duels are in Beulah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's coming up in this weekend's East-West.
The following weekend is regional duels, which will be next weekend. I believe that's like February 3rd. And then the following week is regional individuals. Girls will wrestle on Friday. Boys will wrestle on Saturday. Girls individual wrestles up in Minot at the Minot State Dome. Will be the West Region girls regional in Minot, and then the boys will wrestle in Kildare on Saturday. So big weekend. A lot of wrestling coming up for our kids, and our focus is to be as healthy as we possibly can, and make sure that we're focused on what we do well, and go out and do what we do well. Mm-hmm. Don't change our approach simply because we think, I think this might work. No, our approach has to stay, we do this well, I'm going to wrestle this way, I'm going to out-hustle them, hustle, effort, attitude. That's really all it is.
Yep.
And, we're going to have a good weekend, and it's going to be fun, exciting for these young kids especially, to to get their opportunity to go, man, you know what? I got my opportunity to go to the state tournament now.
Yep.
So I'm going to seize this and I'm going to go.
Yep. And I think over the years we've seen a mixture. We've seen those kids that are on the bubble. We've seen those kids make it.
Yep.
And we've seen the kids not make it.
Yep.
It's it's disappointing. They still get to go. Obviously, all those years that we've had kids miss it, able to go in that dual tournament, which is nice. But this year's, it's going to be a tough task for the Nighthawks to get to the dual tournament, and then that individual portion got some tough matches in all the weight classes.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that Kildare and New Salem are kind of the front runners in the regional as far as region duels, but we've wrestled them very, very well. I mean, our duel with Kildare was an exciting duel. Our duel with New Salem kind of got away from us late, but we can compete with these guys. Yep. We know it, and but there's also good teams. Bowman County is a good team. Beulah has a nice-looking team. Harvey Wells County has a good-looking team. Everybody in the regional should be walking into that regional dual tournament going, if we get a break or two going our ways, we've got a legitimate shot.
Strategy will be a big
absolutely,
part this year.
Absolutely, it will. For sure. That coin flip is going to be big.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. Yeah. Good luck this weekend. East-West, Friday and Saturday in New Salem. Kind of running the same format. They're running a ton of wrestling on Friday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, kind of the same thing. Finals late afternoon.
Yep. It's pretty much we'll run to the finals. I think they go through the semifinals on the first day, and then we'll get all the way through the consolation quarterfinals on the first day. So it is a long day.
Yep.
The second day is a lot shorter, but you really have to do that with that many teams, and then the girls will be competing up in the Central Cass tournament, which is huge, because we do see a lot of girls that will be from our region side. So there's a lot of region seeding on the line there. And then obviously they have to compete well at the regional, and then it could really impact state seeding as well. Same with the boys. We've had kids that really wrestle really, really well at the East-West and really improve their seeds. But we can't even worry about state seeding anymore. What we got to worry about is getting qualified through the regional and getting that opportunity at the state tournament, because with the super regions now, you'll take the top 8 out of each weight class, and everybody's going to be battling for one of those top 8 spots, and so it's going to be exciting as all get out for sure.
All right, sounds good. Well, appreciate the time again, Coach. Obviously, this week East-West, next weekend duel, so we'll talk to you in Coach's Corner probably before we get into the individual portion. Probably.
Yeah,
a
that'll
couple
work.
more weeks in. So
appreciate it, Nolan. Thanks a bunch.
All right, thank you. All right, there you go, head coach Randy Burwick of the Hettinger Scranton Wrestling Squad.